The war is over, but the wrong side is celebrating. If you listen to the media, OpenAI won. ChatGPT is the default. But if you look at the balance sheets, if you look at the money, if you look at the data, you realize the exact opposite is true. Google is about to crush them, and I don't even think it's going to be close. OpenAI declared an internal code red after the release of Gemini 3 Pro. You've probably heard that. And that doesn't happen when you're winning. It happens when you realize that Gemini and Claude can easily outperform your flagship model. OpenAI is delaying launches. They're scrambling. But why? This isn't just about code. It's about a structural problem that I haven't seen other people talking about, a problem that's costing them over $50 billion a year, and it's going to leave OpenAI struggling to keep up while Google owns the future of AI. Now, here's the problem that's bleeding OpenAI dry. It comes down to one simple, brutal economic reality that so many businesses have faced over the years: margins. Right now, OpenAI is paying the NVIDIA tax on every single prompt query that you run. They're renting the hardware. They're waiting in line for GPUs just like everyone else. They're paying retail prices in a wholesale game. Now, Google owns the store. Google runs Gemini on TPUs. These are custom chips that they have been designing for this exact moment for over a decade. Google doesn't pay the markup. Google doesn't buy their chips from the world's most valuable company, like OpenAI does. They don't wait in line. They own the entire stack, from the cooling systems in the data center down to the silicon on the chip. That's why OpenAI has to commit $1.4 trillion just to stay alive. They're trying to build the infrastructure that Google already has sitting in the basement. It's the difference between a business that has to pay rent to its biggest competitor versus the business that owns the building. One controls their own destiny. The other is bleeding cash, just hoping their landlord doesn't evict them. And here's the scary part. Even if OpenAI somehow solves the money problem, even if they burn enough cash to survive the hardware wars, they're still going to lose. Because the real moat isn't in the chips. It's not the hardware. The real moat is the data. And Google has something OpenAI can never buy. Think about how OpenAI trained their models, even the most recent GPT 5.2. They essentially download a frozen copy of the internet, static text, old articles, Reddit threads, YouTube transcripts. Then they read the library. Google doesn't just read the library. Google watched every single person who walked in. They tracked exactly what book they pulled off the shelf, and more importantly, they tracked if that book actually solved their problem. This is the secret weapon that no one is talking about: goal completion. For 20 years, Google hasn't just been storing search queries, they've been storing intent. They know that when you type in how to fix a leaky faucet and you click the third link and you stay there for 5 minutes, that's the answer on how to fix leaky faucets. If you click the first link and then immediately bounce back, the first link was trash. Google knows that. OpenAI guesses what the right answer is based on probability. Google knows the right answer based on 20 years of tracking human behavior online. And then the sleeping giant, YouTube itself. YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. Billions of hours of humans showing other humans how to do things. And of course, YouTube isn't just text. It's reasoning, it's physical motion, it's problem solving in real time. OpenAI downloaded transcripts, text descriptions of how to drive a car. Google has 20 years of dashcam footage from every road on Earth. They have Google Maps, they have Android, they know how humans think, how humans navigate, and how humans solve problems. That's the difference between reading a manual on how to fight and actually being in the ring for 2 decades. And the smart money in Silicon Valley, they see the writing on the wall. Look at Anthropic, for example. They aren't even trying to outspend OpenAI on hardware. That's a losing game. Anthropic played it smart. They secured access to Google's own TPUs. Their revenue grew from $1 billion to $5 billion in less than a year. They're building a sustainable business with enterprise clients. Meanwhile, OpenAI is holding press conferences trying to explain why a Peloton pop-up inside your private chat wasn't technically an advertisement. This is the reality check. The AI race isn't won by whoever has the flashiest launch week. It isn't won by whoever has the coolest CEO. The Sam Altman is pretty cool. It's won by whoever can afford the training and whoever understands what human actually needs based on the words they type in. Google has the chips, Google has the data, and OpenAI OpenAI has a rental bill that they can't pay. So what does this mean for you? It means while everyone else is panicking that search is dead or distraction spending on the next shiny AI wrapper, the winner has frankly already been decided. Google isn't going anywhere, which means that SEO isn't going anywhere. But it does mean that the way you do SEO must change. Google doesn't care about matching text anymore. They don't care about keywords. They care about matching intent. That means that the old game of stuffing keywords, it stopped working a couple of years ago, but now it is so completely dead. If you want to survive this shift, you need to stop optimizing for words and start optimizing for the one signal Google actually respects. I'm going to break down exactly what that signal is and why keywords are officially dead in this next video here. Click here, watch it, and stop playing the game with the old rules.